Hey everyone, today I thought I would give my thoughts on some news we got not too long ago, dealing with none other than Kingdom Hearts 3. Lately, we have been getting a lot of news and stuff about Kingdom Hearts 3 through interviews and whatnot. But for me, probably one of the most interesting bits of information that we got is actually that the tutorial world for Kingdom Hearts 3 will be Twilight Town, which of course was the tutorial world for Kingdom Hearts 2. Now, I know a lot of people didn't like the tutorial for Kingdom Hearts 2. Some say it was long and kind of drug out. And of course, the whole thing with Roxas, which to a certain extent I kind of agree. But Twilight Town was one of my favorite original worlds in the Kingdom Hearts series. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it again in Kingdom Hearts 3. But it does raise a few questions being the tutorial world. I mean, in 0.2, we know that Sora needed to go to the Olympus Coliseum and see Hercules. And we know right at the end that he does make a path to the Olympus Coliseum, and they are heading there at that very moment. And before this news, I, among with pretty much everyone else, assumed Olympus Coliseum would be the tutorial world. So, since this information came out, I've been thinking of ways that Sora would end up going to Twilight Town instead. One option is maybe the path he opened didn't actually lead to Olympus Coliseum, and he accidentally opened the path to Twilight Town somehow. To me, that's not too far-fetched, considering Sora is just now using this form of transportation. Another thing that could happen is maybe on the way to the Olympus Coliseum, they, in a way, get called to Twilight Town somehow. Which, that has happened in the past in Kingdom Hearts 2. Merlin used his powers to bring the gummy ship to Hollow Bastion. But honestly, I personally don't think that Sora is going to be the person in the tutorial. Something else Tetsuya Nomura mentioned in an interview was he talked about the possibility of playable characters besides Sora. Of course, he didn't give us any details as who we'd be playing as or anything like that. But he did hint at us being able to play someone else besides Sora at some point in the game. So maybe during the tutorial we play as someone else, similar to Kingdom Hearts 2 with Roxas. Now, that idea has definitely crossed a lot of fans' minds besides me. And quite a few people are speculating that maybe Ericus is the playable character, or maybe even Xehanort. Which, again, those are definitely possibilities. And it would be super cool to play as either of them and learn a little bit more about them. But I'm not sure why they would be in Twilight Town specifically. And personally, I just don't think either of them are going to be who we play as. Personally, I think we're going to play as either Lee or kh3 for the tutorial. There is actually some logic behind this, so don't freak out just yet. First off, let's just start with Lee. So when Lee was a nobody, Axel spent quite a bit of time in Twilight Town. And he has a pretty big connection with the world itself. And even though he's not a nobody anymore, he definitely has Axel's memories. I mean, come on, he's Axel.
No, I told you my name's... whatever. Axel. Fine.
Okay, so let's pause there for a second and have a look at kh3. For one, she is pretty much a fan favorite to be a playable character, at least from what I've seen. A lot of fans want her as a playable character at some point. And playing her during the tutorial would definitely give us a good idea of her fighting style and a lot of things like that. And honestly, we just don't know a lot about her. She hasn't had much screen time or character development throughout these games, but she is a Keyblade wielder now. And even if we don't play her in Kingdom Hearts 3, I do think she will be a bigger character in it. I think she will play a much bigger role this time. So, what does she have to do with Twilight Town? Well, throughout the games, she's kind of been to a few different worlds, knowingly or not, but she never stayed in any of them long or made any real big connections in any of the worlds. When I say that, I mean she didn't really explore the world or interact with any of the people who live there. But in Kingdom Hearts 2, she does end up going to Twilight Town. This is pretty much the first time she has been to another world by herself. Not only that, she meets Hayner, Pince, and Olette there, and they become good friends. So what I'm basically getting at is Twilight Town probably means something to kh3. It was her first taste of independence, really. It's kind of like the same way I think Traverse Town is to Sora. It was the first world he ventured out to besides his island, and he made a great deal of friends there. And we have gone to Traverse Town in many different games. Even though Sora hasn't ever said like his favorite world he's been to or anything like that, it's safe to assume that he holds Traverse Town very close. So, long story short, what I think is going to happen is we know that both kh3 and Lee are off with Merlin training together. And the area they are in, Merlin used some magic to basically make time stop in that area so they can train as long as they want without it really affecting the outside world, from what I understand anyways. What if in the very beginning of the game they are pretty much done training at this point, and Merlin sends them on sort of a last mission, or should I say their first real mission outside of the training area. Merlin either sends them to Twilight Town for whatever reason, or they choose to go to that world. One thing in the Kingdom Hearts series is that the tutorials are somewhat inconsistent. Some are short and to the point, and others just aren't. But either having Lee or kh3 as the playable character would work either way. If it was a short and simple tutorial, they go to Twilight Town, defeat some Heartless and whatnot, and then it's over. And then it switches over to Sora. If it's a bit longer, somewhat like the tutorial for Kingdom Hearts 2, maybe they go there and maybe their mission isn't just to take out Heartless, but it is to help some of the citizens there, like Hayner, Pince, Olette. Honestly, I don't know which one of them would be the playable character, but I definitely think that they would go to Twilight Town together, and one of them would be your party member and the other one would be playable. Basically, after the two finish their mission, they are pretty much able to be Keyblade masters at this point, or at least be able to fight against the 13 Seekers of Darkness. And maybe after they're done, they go to find Sora or find Riku or something like that, and then the game crosses over to Sora. I don't know, that's just kind of my thoughts on having the tutorial in Twilight Town once again. Personally, I just think that's a really good way to kind of do it because it can cover what's been happening with Lee and kh3. I mean, the only reason we even know that they are in an area with a spell cast that keeps time out is because of something that happened during one of the concerts. Plus, it would let everyone get a feel for Kyrie or Lee, and it would kind of set things up for them to have bigger roles in Kingdom Hearts 3. But what do you guys think? Are you glad that Twilight Town's going to be the tutorial world, or did you want Olympus Coliseum, or a different world? And who do you think will play as during the tutorial? Thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.